What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got to change a belt on the E420. Let's get into it. So I noticed the other day when I think I was looking at something else actually, that the belt had a little bit of fraying on it. I probably won't be able to see it now because I kind of trimmed off the piece, but definitely had some fraying on it, and I thought this was a newer belt, to be honest, because it still feels really good, but and it's got like no cracking or anything like that, but it definitely lost a piece of it. I don't know where the piece is exactly, but it basically stripped off like a clean strip of one side. So rather than let it stay on here, then you know, I don't know, eventually fray more, I just decided, oh, there's the frayed piece actually, you can see down there. If you guys can see that, I'll try to zoom in. Yeah, rather than leave it on there and, you know, wait for time to do its thing, just grabbed another one. So if you need the part number, 6PK2535, or Gates is the 4060988. It is 99.8 inches or 98.8 inches, I can't remember. But there's a couple different part numbers out there. And honestly, if I wasn't trying to get this in a hurry, I probably would have bought a different belt. I got this one from ANDERZÉN. It's not bad at all. I mean, it's Continental, it's good, but I probably would have got the Gates HD belt or a Goodyear belt if I was not in a pinch. So this will do. Another video separate to this you guys can check out. I'll probably drop it around the same time as this one. I've been doing headlight restoration on the W163, just letting you guys know why it's sitting there. But yeah, let's go ahead and take care of this real quick. All right, guys, so I have an E10 on a 3/8 ratchet, a long one if possible, if you guys have one. And you're just gonna put leverage, basically twisting on the tensioner, and then see if I can get this belt off with one hand. There we go. Slide it off of the top pulley. And before I take this all the way off, I'm gonna take a look exactly how this is set up, although I have the diagram anyways, but yeah, check back with you in a second. All right, so it looks like it is going under and around the alternator, going around this pulley right here. What is that for, by the way? Smog pump, maybe? I think so. Then to the water pump pulley and the clutch fan. It goes up and around the power steering over there, and then down below the crankshaft pulley. I can't see exactly, but honestly, I'll just pop up the diagram for you guys because that's easier than me trying to show you guys here. All right, guys, belt is out. I'll show you the worst part of it. This whole side is like frayed off basically, which is weird. It is a correct belt for the car, but yeah, pretty odd. I'm gonna check all the pulleys right now to make sure that they all feel okay, because that could have been the reason why this is happening, but yeah, strange. No like cracking or anything. The belt like itself looks good and it feels fine. It's just got frayed off for whatever reason, so I'm gonna check on the pulleys. All right, guys, I think I may have found the culprit. All the other pulleys feel good, but this one definitely has some play. I'll see if you guys can hear this. So yeah, it's not terrible. It's not like wobbling or anything, but the bearing definitely sounds a little tired in there. Or it's like clicking or getting caught up. So luckily on these tensioners, I don't know why Mercedes ever switches, but on these tensioners you can replace the pulley by itself. And it's a nice metal pulley, not like the plastic stuff that you'll find on some of the M113s. So yeah, why would you ever not make metal pulleys? This is the good old days. But yeah, all the other ones feel smooth, and it's not like that one is terrible, but definitely a cheap thing that I could swap out. But for now, I don't think running the belt for a little while until I pick up one of those pulleys is going to hurt anything. It's better than running the other one, so I'll go ahead and throw it on. Interestingly enough, the new belt does seem a little bit skinnier, so I don't know if that's just because of this one stretching out after being on there a little bit, but it's definitely like, I don't know, maybe an 1/8, less 16th maybe of an inch, a few millimeters, but yeah, definitely a little bit skinnier. So interesting. All right, guys, that is done. Much easier than the last time I did the M113 from what I remember, actually. But basic strategy, I tried to go around the, well, I did go around the crankshaft pulley first, get it lined up on the AC compressor and the power steering pulley, and then get it slipped around the belt tensioner and on the bottom side underneath the water pump, over the fan, down around the alternator, and then I left this top flap off, or top portion off of the smog pump and the top of the water pump, and then basically held the wrench to pull the tensioner loose again, and then slipped it around this back side of here, and then it just perfectly lined up over there. So that's my strategy after doing belts many times now, is try to leave yourself like an easy spot to grab the slack and slip it over the easiest of the pulleys to reach. So yeah, that was really easy. I think I just finished this in not more than like 12 minutes maybe. So that was taking it off and putting the new one on. So pretty good. I remember struggling really bad one time, especially the first time I was doing the M113. Might have just been me being a rookie, but this one definitely seems a lot easier. All right, last thing left to do is start it up. Cool. No squawking. Let's go check it out. Me. Hello again, we are back. It's a few days later, and I have the replacement belt tensioner pulley. So we need to swap this out because, like I said, when we spun the other one, it was a little bit crunchy. Not terrible, but it's worth changing out because these are relatively cheap and easy to replace. I don't recommend Euro parts in general, but with a piece like this, it is very simple. It's just an aluminum pulley with a little bit of coating on it and a bearing. And I was in a little bit of a pinch to do this, so I wanted to get this as fast as I could. But you don't need to get the same one, obviously. Ina makes a really good one, and other companies, you know, you can go with that are a little more trustworthy. But the bearing I know is good inside of here, based off of the numbers that are on here. 2RS means it's rubber sealed. The 3202, the 3 represents that it's reinforced. And I'm not sure what the E and the Y are, but as far as the bearing goes, the bearing is good quality. And I'm not concerned about the outer portion being a problem at all because it's just an aluminum pulley. It's easy. You could, however, take off your stock one and just press in and out a new bearing. Totally an option. So I'll probably keep the stock one that I pull off here and place a new bearing into it and keep it as a backup, or I don't know, if somebody needs it, then whatever. But yeah, I'm just gonna do that. It's basically cranking over again, loosening up the belt. I'll probably pull it off the, what's it called, air pump, and then from there I'll just let the belt hang and get the tensioner free and undo that pulley. There's a plastic cap that comes off, and then you'll need a deep socket, and it should be, I don't know, we'll see, like maybe 16 or 17 millimeter nut that's on there that will allow the pulley to come off. All right, old pulley is loose. I got the nut off. It's actually easier if you keep the belt tensioned, get it loose, then undo the tension and then pull it off. Because, you know, if you pull the belt off, then try to twist it left to undo the nut, the tensioner is just going to want to move instead of undoing the nut. So yeah, I did it that way. I just loosened up the nut a little bit and then took the tension out and then threaded this off by hand. It is a 15 millimeter, and I did have to use a deep head socket. All right guys, so here's the old and new. This is a Eine bearing, or Innen, however you say it, made in Germany. So definitely a quality bearing and lasted a long time. See if you guys can hear this. Didn't plan on doing a belt pulley ASMR, but it's definitely seen better days, and it served for a long time. Time to swap in the new one. So let's go for it. Like I said, I'll keep this one on hand. It's the exact same, dimensions look good. So I'll keep this pulley and maybe press out that bearing and putting a new one just to have as a backup. All right, new pulley is on. Now the specs for torque, I think it's 25 Newton meters. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what it is. However, my torque wrench couldn't fit in here with the extended socket that I had on there, so I just had to do it by feel. It's not a crazy amount. 25 Newton meters is not very much, so I just try to gauge off of how much force it took me to undo the nut and put that much back on. I used like a tiny little drop of Loctite on it, but on the nut, but not much at all. Last thing to do, this is a plastic cover. It's got 3 prongs on it. Basically line this up and figure out where it goes. All right, plastic cap is on. You guys can see that. And I am now a skilled belt puller and installer on the M119. This is so much easier than M113. I know I said that before, but it really is. Just the placement of everything. Anyways, let's give it one last startup and we will wrap up the video. All right, everything looks good. You can tell there's that noise that was coming from that pulley is not happening anymore. I am getting a little bit of a kind of a tick. It's very faint, but I hear it every once in a while, and that tells me that the job of the cam oiler tubes most likely is going to be one of my next projects on this car, because that's very likely what it could be, is those plastic cam oiler tubes. Hopefully not. Maybe it's just something else making some noises. It's very faint, but you guys might be able to hear it. Well, that'll go ahead and do it for this one. Serpentine belt and the belt tensioner pulley. Hopefully that's helpful for some of you guys. Serpentine belt has plenty of stuff online, but the belt tensioner pulley doesn't have as much for the M119, at least from what I found. Lots of stuff for the M104s, etc., but not as much info on that for these late model W124 with the V8. More projects on the way for the W124 very soon. I have literally a stockpile of parts that I need to throw at this thing soon, so that we're not in the dead of winter trying to work on the car. Yeah, not fun. So get that stuff on the way, be on the lookout, and I will see you guys all on the next one. Peace.